And then she asked me, do you think this is good for the small business community? And I went, well, look at your shop. This is one day. What happens when your employees just don't come in?
So here's what's going to happen.
Based on the shooting, the only possible suspect info we have is the time of the shooting. There were two male black adults were running. Yeah.
I don't even. What do you mean?
Male black adults were running towards a
you don't have to.
Toyota
Number
with
one,
one
the
headlight
entire
out.
premise of this is bullshit. Because they went to a protest, you let them go. It's like every part of this is stupid. Business, they're going to be forced to hire legally, and they're going to be forced to play by the rules. When businesses and everybody plays by the rules, the country is better off. The country is not better off if businesses break the law to get a leg up on their competitors while acting like they are engaging in some noble pursuit that's not at all related to money, especially when giving us jobs just leaves numbers like this, where 17% of people aged 16 to 24 can't get jobs in New York City. And these are people who would be willing to work in an air-conditioned business where they could bring their smartphone, like a grocery store or a bodega. These are not people who won't work because they refuse to do the jobs that exist. And here's the thing, these businesses like this dry cleaners mentioned by that news anchor, of course they're not hiring people who they think are victims of trafficking. And they might think they're playing by the rules.
Well, the argument that he's making is that, and there are some like really low status, really shitty jobs that it's hard to fill with American workers, so people use like migrant workers to do that. And I think this is especially true with agriculture. But what he's saying is that the entire premise of that goes away when you're talking about working at a gas station, or you're working at Subway or Amazon. Like, these are normal places that average people can work at. The requirements are not going to destroy your body. There's nothing like that's extreme, like a call center. Yeah, it's an easy, comfortable job. Well, I mean, like, it's not an easy job. And it might not be comfortable, but like compared to
Alpha 12, some witnesses are saying that this happened in Kayak Alley between 8th and 9th Street. There was a shootout here, which is about 7 or 8 casings. Couldn't get a unit to come block off.
12, lockdown 1.
I copy, I'll go to 3.
Check.
019 in control.
Good.
We copy, we're doing a grid search right now for any evidence of a shooting down here.
Can you show me doing a theater check, please?
Alpha 12, we just found about 7 or 8 casings in Kayak Alley between 8th and 9th Street. We can get a unit to block off any sort of traffic going through here with the grid.
Have a unit to Kayak Alley and 8.
6 marking right now.
Copy. Heading a V2 reckless at Franklin and Alpha 4.
Yeah, that's control stuff on that. Just broadcast cancel that. We're not going to that.
There you go.
7, I'll take 3 and 7.
Officer 2000 from Stand 33.
I did it out for kids.
And that one was a wrong way driver. He's northbound and southbound lane. Case 1448, 1448.
Yeah.
Officer 2000 Stand 33. Hey, you have a call?
7-3 Adam, 7-6 Adam, 925 Folsom and Maria Del Rio, on Folsom, white male 20s, black shirt, camo pants, looking confused, possibly 922.
I have the victim's phone, yeah. Charles 18, call 187.
picking strawberries in this.
It's because so many businesses here don't. And the most maddening thing about all of this is, yes, New York is a sanctuary city, but it's also very progressive. So for the little guy, they're out there on one hand advocating for the little guy to get higher wages.
Yeah, they've gotten psyop into defending these massive multi-billion-dollar companies or multi-million-dollar business owners. Into thinking that they're helping the little guy by advocating for these business owners to continue using, second-rate, second-class citizen labor. It's really impressive. Yeah, it's like tipping in a way, yeah.
And more protections, but at the same time, they're totally okay with businesses who don't do any of that in the name of open borders. Minimum wage in New York is $16.50 an hour. And ask any progressive, they'll tell you that's too low. And they'll tell you that greedy businesses should be paying more because workers...
You know what's funny is that I think that they're right. I think $16 an hour probably is too low in New York. And I bet you might not be able to make a living working 40 hours a week at $16 an hour. Like, I would view, like, you know, like, this is, like, my view on, like, minimum wage, right? Is, like, if you have to work, if you're working 40 hours a week and you can't afford an apartment or a place to live on that money, then the minimum wage needs to go up. Because if it doesn't go up, you have an untenable situation in the long term.
Workers are the most valuable input in any economy. Unless, of course, those workers are in the country illegally. If that's the case, there is nobody advocating for them to get higher wages or more protections. There's just anger at the fact that ICE is here and might arrest somebody who's a criminal. And this puts progressives in sanctuary cities in a catch-22. Here they are advocating for policies that disenfranchise workers who they say are already disenfranchised by virtue of their immigration status.
And these people don't care about any workers or anything like that. They just care about having the right opinion. That's it. Yeah, it's all optics and virtue signal. That's it.
Awful workers, they don't have the one thing legitimate workers have, which protects them, and that is the power to walk.
Here's the way that I look at it. You can tell the employee to get a better job, but have you ever thought about telling the employer to get a better job?
Jack 30 Cunningham from Lewis.
Like, if you have a function that you can't even justify paying somebody a living wage for, maybe that's your fault as an employer. That's just me.
Away from any business they feel isn't treating them fairly and work somewhere else. That's not possible if the only job you can get is because the people working there are willing to break the law. And this brings up a big question. Are the businesses who are hiring people illegally doing something good, or are they just doing something that's good for their bottom line at the expense of the rest of society? And does that
well, it's guaranteed that they're doing something that's beneficial for them financially. Like, that's the guarantee.
Power, the very criminals and gang members ICE may have to raid a business to find in the first place. Let me know what you think about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
I love these fucking videos. I'm so glad that he's calling this out, and I totally support Cash Gordon. I've watched like probably 10 of his videos before the video. Yeah, he's so good. And I really think, like, I mean, he's doing rewards work, right? I mean, like, it's crazy how bad this shit's going. I'm actually really kind of shocked. I don't know how, bro, like, after seeing all the crazy shit that happens in New York, it really is no surprise that Gotham City is based off of New York. I mean, New York's turned into a PvP server.
2 people in custody tonight after the FBI search of a Diamond District pawn shop. The 2 men have been buying stolen luxury items from South American theft groups and then reselling them at their store.
So the owners of this store right here are in FBI custody for allegedly working with a South American robbery crew to sell stolen items, some of which were taken from the homes of professional athletes and other wealthy individuals all across America by a gang of Chilean immigrants residing in the U.S. illegally, living out a twisted
Isn't that nice?
version of the American dream with the alleged help of an American business.
How you guys doing?
Body camera footage showing 4 Chilean nationals being questioned by authorities last month in Ohio. And in the trunk, a Louis Vuitton bag.
Where you guys headed
Clear,
to?
Orlando?
Long way. What is that way?
GPS as well as an ID problem, and he is the restraint party in a
Oh, bunch of fucking retards. It's Chilean and fucking disgusting, bro. Everybody knows that everybody from Chile isn't like this, okay? Like, that's just some people on some racist bullshit. I think that we know that you just had a few of your roaches show up in our country to do some dumb shit. Nobody's blaming you.
The Jensen and Ron Villar are accused by federal prosecutors of regularly serving as spinces for South American theft groups. Their Diamond District pawn shop raided Tuesday.
Someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe Burrow's house.
Federal prosecutors say the thieves made off with roughly $300,000 in luxury items, including watches, glasses, piles of cash, and Louis Vuitton luggage.
These are, wait, and they're taking photos of themselves? What is with all the self-snitching?
Alleged gangbangers also posed wearing the NFL stars JB9 and number 9
No way, they take a photo.
and chain necklaces.
I have to say, this is kind of a
He
power
also has
move,
a
though,
flash
right?
and rims advising he's on.
I mean, at a certain level, I kind of
the
respect
PSDS flag.
I do.
Says
You got
address
balls
not
to do
validated.
this, right? Like, yeah. I mean, it's self-snitching, yeah, but it's a power move. Now, it's not a good power move, but it is a power move.
They come here almost exclusively to commit and engage in
Nora
criminality.
Victor Uni,
I feel like
451.
my privacy has been violated in more ways than one.
Prosecutors say in their search Tuesday, investigators found large quantities of suspected stolen property here at the pawn shop, as well as from a storage facility in New Jersey. They also found sports memorabilia and power tools that they're commonly used to open safes.
These are the individuals that wake up every day with one intention, is to commit as many crimes as possible to make money in any way possible.
9 Samsung Edward 255.
So evidence links one of the thieves busted robbing a football player's home to a pawn shop in Midtown Manhattan.
So they're just selling it right back to the pawn shops. That's how it happens. Self-snitching? Yeah, it is. It's not so much a power move as an indictment of the weakness of the justice system. Yeah, it's a little bit of that too, right? Yeah, a little bit.
Nobody's talking about is this FBI bust reveals a shocking level of cooperation between illegal criminal gangs and New York City businesses that look and appear legitimate. And with one of these operations taken down right in the heart of Manhattan, you've got to wonder how many other predatory businesses like this are hiding in plain sight, especially when crime statistics show New York City has experienced an astronomical rise in moped-related snatch and grab robberies over the last 2 years. An 8,000% rise to be exact, with criminals stealing watches, purses, bags, and other valuables from unsuspecting victims in some of the city's richest neighborhoods.
It makes sense, right? I mean, like, if you're gonna go, like, I mean, how many of you guys want to farm a dungeon that doesn't have any loot in it? I mean, it makes sense they're gonna go do that, but it's just crazy that they're here to begin with, right?
As summer, when thugs approached customers at restaurants, forcing them to put their Rolexes in pillowcases before speeding off without getting caught. But it doesn't stop there. The city also saw a rise in robberies in Central Park and in Midtown by Times Square. And when you combine those with the out-of-control shoplifting epidemic we're experiencing, a troubling picture starts to emerge of a city flooded with so many illegally stolen items that they're now being sold openly at stores on the side of the street. And that brings us to the real reason why this bust is so important. It exposes a highly profitable industry that, when combined with New York's sanctuary system,
how like the businesses that are like enabling this need to be the ones that get fined for it, because like not only are they doing this, but they're making money off of it too. They're the ones that are making money off of these clowns, and they're paying them, and they're enabling this entire thing to happen.
City status acts as a magnet to bring the world's worst criminals to our city, where we not only allow them to hide from the federal government while they live in taxpayer-funded homeless shelters, but also the opportunity to be the worst versions of themselves, all thanks to New York's decriminalization of petty theft and assault, which, as you're about to see, has created a pipeline of products stolen from the law-abiding and then sold on the streets of New York in broad daylight.
Can you transfer work this
This right here is the entrance of the business where this gang was allegedly able to sell off stolen property. And it's right in the heart of Midtown on 47th Street, 6th Avenue.
You sell? You sure do.
Diamond District, I got my wife's engagement ring here. Not at this place, at another place nearby. But the point is, this is an area full of legitimate businesses that have been here for decades. But hiding in plain sight was apparently a criminal operation of proportions nobody ever imagined.
Prosecutors say the men brokered the sale of countless pieces of stolen merchandise taken from across the United States by South American theft groups. The two were allegedly the middlemen, buying the loot from the thieves and selling it at their store, a customer of the pawn shop.
So what's unbelievable about this is that the store on the upper floors here, they're paying thousands of dollars a month to be right here in the middle of Manhattan, but they're selling stolen items from all across the country.
Well, that's why they can pay the $1,000, is they're buying stolen items and they're selling. That's the whole reason. That's how it works. Yeah, people steal stuff. That's new. The problem, so the issue with this is that it's like you're always going to have thieves, but having thieves that are from another country, that are nationals from another country, that are illegally here, and the state is unwilling to prosecute or go after them or even investigate the problem, this is a massive unforced error that doesn't need to happen, and it doesn't, like, there's no reason for this to exist.
Before we get into this wild story about how a gang of foreign criminals was able to break into homes all across America, it's important to understand that this collusion of legitimate businesses and unlawful residents of this country is nothing new in America's largest sanctuary city, which is home to over 400,000 people who are illegally residing in the United States, which creates a big problem. You've got a massive number of people who can't legally work yet need to feed themselves, pay rent, and buy clothing, creating an opportunity for businesses to prey upon these people or to team up with criminal gangs and then prey upon the rest of society.
A gang of Chilean migrants are accused of snapping brazen photos after allegedly storming Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's $7.5 million Ohio mansion. The alleged gangbangers also posed wearing the NFL star's JB9 and number 9 chain necklaces. Burrow's girlfriend.
So it's shocking to me that it's like, how can you see these videos and then be like, yeah, sanctuary cities and all this stuff is good. Like, yeah, no, this is great. Like, this is the right side of history, guys.
These guys that were running stolen products up to the third floor of this store right here, they might look like jokers from the photos they posted on social media, but they knew exactly where they were going. They knew how to get in, and this might not be the first celebrity's home. And they raped them.
It's like, these guys aren't stupid. Well, they are kind of stupid because they're taking photos of it, but they're not real. Like, they're calculated.
However, the FBI says that stolen goods from multiple celebrity home invasions were being sold out of this particular business. The full extent to how those items got there has not yet been revealed by prosecutors. But the thing that's odd about this robbery is that these guys had no problem taking pictures and showing off all their loot. Either this was their first time committing this sort of crime, or they'd done so many home invasions and successful raids that they figured nothing was going to happen to them. And that's
always how it is. Everybody that I know that did shit that you weren't supposed to do, it's when you start taking photos of yourself with things that you stole or things that you bought with stuff that you stole or you shouldn't have. There's always a level of like pride, and like, how many of you guys know this, right? There's like some friend that you have that like used to be cautious, and then they stopped being cautious, and then they got caught. Every fucking time that happens.
They were invincible, and the amount of money they were making probably made them feel unstoppable.
Investigators say the two men are linked to a nationwide burglary ring targeting the homes of high-profile professional athletes. That includes Kansas City Chiefs stars, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, NBA stars.
So what happened here is absolutely wild, and the details are incredibly shocking. Not just how the goods were stolen from this person's home, who did the stealing, and how they were offloaded right here, but it's not the only business in town which apparently has a no questions asked policy when it comes to buying things that walk in the door from people who might be criminals. In fact, everything that can be stolen
very beneficial policy for them.
Gets stolen and resold here. You've got bodegas selling stolen food, clothing stores reselling stolen items from places like Macy's. And if you're curious about how these gang members might have met these people, well, there's a whole bunch of stores here that all say they're willing to buy valuables that it might be secondhand. These criminals could literally have just gone up and down the block with a briefcase full of stuff, showing it to people until they found a willing accomplice. And the crazy thing is, it looks like they would have gotten away with their heist if they hadn't done something really stupid.
Body camera footage showing 4 Chilean nationals being questioned by authorities last month in Ohio.
Where are you guys headed to?
Amanda, wrong way. Florida's that way.
The man in the front passenger seat wearing a Cincinnati Bengals beanie, Burrow's team. And in the trunk, a Louis Vuitton bag.
The individual with the hoodie.
How are you gonna wear his hat?
Give me a second, I'll call it back on the
He's
other
gonna break into his house wearing his hat.
They said that you would have to go over the fence.
That is a level of disrespect.
Negative transport.
Oh my god.
Room line oak
A shirt from
419.
LSU.
Yeah, a traffic stop. These guys were brought down by bad driving. Their car was full of stolen belongings, and the officer asked them where they were going, and they said, "Oh, we're going to Florida." And the officer's like, "Guys, Florida's that way." And this is crazy. They had $300,000 worth of valuables from this guy's home. The homeowner.
Got out of a white Range Rover and fleeing for help at 16th and H. Henry.
I bet they're probably speeding. They had a headlock. Like, how do you, if you're driving with a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't have in the car, you need to be, bro, you have to be checking every tail light, making sure every, like, inspection is there. Like, because they're not going to just randomly pull you over usually, right? Like, and also another thing is that you're done, because like, this is on the highway, right? And so if you're on the highway, that means you let a cop run up behind you and run your plates. Because that's how they get you. Is that they go up behind you, the police cars have a plate reader, the plate reader hits the numbers, it says, uh-oh, look at this, and that's it. So the fake plates, they don't have fake plates, right? Exactly. And so anyway, stolen vehicle maybe? Then that's really dumb. That's crazy stupid if you've got a stolen vehicle and you're doing that. So like this is insane.
And it's just with priority calls.
Yeah, you gotta be checking all the ones. Exactly, like you can't even get that straight. It's embarrassing.
Assigned to a 5-year, $275.
You never let a cop pull up behind you like that. You always go to another lane, take an exit off. If they're coming up behind you, you gotta go to like do something, slow down, speed up, do something to where they don't get behind you and read your fucking plates.
Affirmative, was incorrect.
Fucking obviously. How do you not think like that?
A $1 million contract which had a $4 million signing bonus, so he's incredibly wealthy.
And apparently his home had security guards there, but these guys got in when the shift changed, revealing an incredibly high level of sophistication to this raid. And apparently they had planned this out in advance. They did not just show up, break the window, and steal whatever they could find, not knowing whose it was. Apparently, the authorities found photos of the home in question on their cell phones that were taken prior to the break-in.
And then they discovered something embarrassing else that tied them to the owners of this business right here.
Been arrested for that.
You can have the phones, like, I mean, you don't, you can buy a phone for $50, you can buy a smartphone for $50. Like,
213-815-0334 and the officer location.
His cell phone is connected to the two men who were arrested in that case. So that was the connection to They're still trying to sort out the victims.
I'm not talking about like a phone. I'm not talking flip phone. I'm talking about like a fucking, like you can buy a smartphone for $50. You can buy a good smartphone for $50.
Okay, we're gonna call over to them.
You can do it right now at Walmart. You can buy it with cash. You don't have to get an ID or anything. It's embarrassing.
How
do you get calls? What good is tomato? No, it's an iPhone.
David understands how high to Nora.
Identify the problem in this case.
Wow, I think it's either a Samsung or there's like I think it's T-Mobile. I think it's just Samsung, but it's
That is way more than some casual relationship. The people who ran this business were in direct contact with this gang that was out robbing celebrities' homes. And that could mean one of two things. It could mean that the owners of this business have the cell phone numbers of a lot of people who bring them expensive stuff.
After all, there's a lot of businesses on this street that have rare and expensive things, and the last thing you want is for your customer to be standing outside your front door with a briefcase full of this stuff in New York City. It would be incredibly bad for business if one of your customers was followed and tracked down while making a delivery. And if you're headed to a New York City pawn shop or jewelry exchange and you get there and the door's locked, that could be a big problem.
So maybe the cell phone connection, not that big of a deal. Or it could mean that these guys were in cahoots and they were in contact with these criminals as they were.
They're doing the transactions at the business.
In the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'm sure we'll probably have a faster response time than the southern unit.
Good.
They don't even care.
Lincoln, Crystal Williams.
Bro, they don't even give a fuck. Like, this is embarrassing.
7689.
Copy. And Pam 7,
How
you
is
still want
this-
the District 5 units in route downtown to assist on...
Oh my god! Max level efficiency? It is! It's super...
It's going to be clear shortly, that's fine.
I don't understand. This is crazy. It's been like this for 15 years?
Everybody's having to know what front shoes...
Your face on the hat.
Premeditating which homes they were gonna hit up.
Only time will tell, however, if a business gets busted reselling knowingly stolen merch, which they may have helped the criminals steal, they could be going away for a long time.
But even if they do, as we touched on earlier, the criminal element that is stealing all of this wealth is still gonna be out there, which means the opportunity to profit from the sale of all those
Well,
stolen.
if they're doing business with these individuals and they're not doing proper vetting of the things that they're buying, that means that they're the ones who are really benefiting from these illegals being in the country. Like, these illegals obviously get money out of it, etc., but they're getting peanuts compared to what these pawn shops and these other places are getting. They're the ones, like, they're the Kia boys, right? They steal Kia for $50, while somebody else takes the Kia, robs a bank, and they make 10 grand.
For DUI.
That's really the people making the big money.
1030 Mary out of Sac County for HS 11.
As long as you know the cashier or leave it outside.
And he's
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that I don't actually. I don't know enough about pawn shop. I thought you had to sign something if you sell something to them that's over a certain amount of value. Is that not true?
Oh, 65. Can you stack this?
You do, yeah. It's like over $1,000, right?
Call and show us en route to that 242.
Hey, friend, Charles 29.
It depends on the state. You do in Texas. Right. So I thought. You have to give ID. Yes. It's over $100.
Well, items will still be there as well, and the opportunity to make money supplying these criminals with the one thing they need to do their dirty work, that's not going anywhere either. So criminals, gang members, thugs, there's a lot of people like that living in New York right now, and they need to arm themselves to get up in the morning and go about doing what they're here to do, which creates an opportunity for people in possession of things that are banned to sell them and make a lot of money because they've got a lot of customers who need those things to go about accosting others, stealing, robbing, home invading, etc. And sadly, this criminal opportunity has attracted people to New York who are just the absolute worst of the worst.
These are some of the worst criminals suspected Trendy Rock gang members, allegedly making money selling guns on the streets of the city. But they had no clue they were selling to undercover NYPD officers.
Can I run a firearms number?
14 Adam, 16 Adam, and 10 for Benny Elmer from Happening.
Wow.
And please copy his remarks. Thank you. Good.
When Trump said they're not sending their best,
It'll be a
I didn't know how right he was.
model laptop. Serial number 36.
I didn't even understand. That's incredible.
Police commissioner.
So in New York, you've got so many criminals that one gang can make money arming other gangs who make money using those things, stealing and exploiting the rest of the city. And apparently this recent gang bust saw 10 members of the Venezuelan gang J.A.E, all busted for selling weapons. And apparently these criminals had quite an arsenal of fully automatic devices, and they were also in the United States without permission. But apparently they were making money supplying New York's growing criminal underworld.
Which is stupid. Like, why would you even have an automatic weapon to begin with?
Person is found
Like,
with
unless you're
negative.
fighting other gangs, you're never gonna need it. You're breaking into
6-1
houses and
Adam,
nobody's there in the first
you want to
place.
report on British Park?
It's just stupid.
6-5 Adam, 34 the 44 report on Firewood Court.
With the tools of its trade, and they only came here because this is a sanctuary city with soft on crime laws and a defunded police force. Something that's pretty obvious to see when you look at the statistics around moped crime and how it's exploded here, with snatch and grab robberies in the city going from non-existent to a... But apparently, arming an ever-growing population of criminals here locally wasn't enough for these guys, and they were exporting their operations to other states.
Criminal activity includes other crimes reaching further than the city, and including Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Texas, Florida, Colorado. When confronted during a bust operation, the NYPD says the gang members put up a fight. Still detained.
So these guys, apparently, they didn't want to go down without a fight. The police knew coming into this that these were violent criminals. But it gets...
That's crazy. They're actually gonna go against the police, too. Hey, Texas, were you a supporter? No, bro, like, absolutely not. Like, I don't support this shit at all.
Even worse, because look at this. One of the guys that they took down has prior arrests for weapon possession.